Hey, hi guys. Thanks for joining in. Let's see one more topic today. So today we'll be discussing SLE Type 2 implementation. Okay, let me share my screen. So we'll be today's topic will be SLE Type 2 implementation. Okay. So by this time, I hope you guys know like what is SLE Type 1, what is SLE Type 2, and what is SLE Type 3. If you still have any question, please refer to my previous session where we discussed SLE types. And please ping me if you have any more questions so that I will take some more examples and try to make you guys understand in much more better way. Okay. So let's move on to the SLE Type 2 implementation today. So SLE Type 2 implementation mainly in real time. It can be achieved in multiple ways, but out of all those ways, in real time, people will be always using flags concept not to implement SLE Type 2. And there are dates concept by using a begin date, end date, inserted date, modified date, such type of columns. They will be using those columns in order to implement SLE Type 2. And the last one is like versioning, very rarely used these days. But the first two are like widely used in order to implement SED type 2 implementations. Okay. So let's see how we can implement SED type 2 implementation using flag concept today. Okay. So before moving there, I think we already know what is SED type 2. It maintains history, right? It maintains historical version of all the records. Maintains history basically. Okay. So for that, there are mainly three cases. Let me bring the Excel and explain what are the three cases. So think that there is a company and there is a source table where we'll be like logging out whoever the employees who joined our company into this source table, and we'll be moving the source data into a data warehouse target table. Okay, so we have a employee ID, employee name, employee salary, department ID in the source table, and in the target table we'll be having employee key ID, employee name, employee salary, department ID, along with one flag column. This is where we'll be inserting the flags, the new records with flag Y and the old records with which has changes is also be inserted with flag Y, but we'll update the old existing record in the target table with flag N. Okay, what does that mean? Let me take one simple example and try to explain it. Okay, so let's think that one of the employee joined our company, Alan, and his salary is $5,000, and he works in 10 department. And there is, along with Alan, there is one more employee who joined the company, Jeff, and his salary is $3,500, and he works in a different department. Okay, so these guys joined today. So what we did, we just logged those employee details into our source table, and we had a configured thing that we had an Informatica mapping which configured in order to handle this implementation of SED type 2. So what it will do generally, it will extract the data, whatever that is there in the source table, and load it into the target table with flag Y, because these records are entering into the target table for the first time, right? So it will always insert the new records into the target table with flag Y, and this is a unique ID which will be generated by using a sequence generator transformation, which we discussed in our previous sessions. If you still have any questions, please refer to that session. Okay, so we'll be using a sequence generator transformation. We will be generating unique ID. Okay, and think that after 6 months, there is a new employee who joined our company. Her name is Lisa, and her salary is around $7,500 per month, and she works in the same department of Helen. So, and again, during that time, I think the company wants to increment the Helen salary to $8,000 per month. Okay, so now the source data is coming with three records, right? One is Lisa's new record, and there is a Ellen's record and Jeff record with updated salary of Ellen. So what it will do, Informatica now in order to implement the SED type 2 implementation, Informatica will take this record, first record, and insert into the target table with flag y, and it will update the old version of the record with flag n. Okay, and the sequence ID will be 3. And again, it will extract the Jeff's record, and it will check if there is any changes in that record. Still, it didn't find any changes in this record. It will not do anything. It will leave that record because there is no change, right? Jeff ID remains the same, employee name remains the same, employee salary remains the same. Okay, and department is also remains the same. So that's why there is no change in that record. That's why it will not do anything, and it will move on to the next record, Lisa's record. So what it will do, it's a completely new record. So it will do an insert with flag y. Okay. Now this time, Lisa's salary got like think that after 1 year, Ellen's salary again incremented with $7,000. So it became $15,000. So now what it will do, Informatica, there is no changes to these records. So what it will do, it will pick the Ellen's record and insert the Ellen's record into the target table with flag y, and it update the previous old version of the record of Ellen with n. And this one will be sequence ID will be 5 for that Ellen's record. See, we are maintaining the history of the records, right? Because since Jeff and Lisa doesn't have any changes, so that's why the implementation doesn't do anything to those records. But Ellen's salaries keep on updating after six months. So what Informatica did, like what the implementation did, it kept the history of the record of Ellen. In the same case, like for example, after 2 years, Ellen's and Jeff salary remains the same. Lisa's salary got incremented to by $10,000. So it becomes $17,500 per month. Okay, then what it will do, since it doesn't find any changes in Ellen's and Jeff record, it will leave those records. It will not do anything with those records, but it will insert the new version of the record of Lisa into the target table with flag y. Okay, and it will update the old version of the Lisa's record to flag n. So can you tell me what is the active records all the time? Whatever the record with flag y will always be our active records of that specific record, right? So this is how you will be implementing SCD type 2 implementation. So now, like there are 3 cases that we are performing, right? What are those cases? Case 1. We will always insert the new records with flag y. Right? That is the first case. What is the second case? We will always insert old records or existing record with changes with flag y again. And what we will be updating? We'll be updating the old record with flag n. Old records with changes only. We will not update any other records. We will update only the old record which has changes. Okay, so these are the 3 cases that we always perform when we are dealing with SCD type 2 implementation. Okay, I hope this is clear. If not, please comment. I will try to take one more example and try to explain you. So these are the 3 cases. Let's go and implement the same thing on the Informatica Powercenter. Let's open Mapping Designer. So since I hope by this time you know the basic steps of Informatica development, the step 1, step 2, step 3, and the prerequisite step that you need to perform. What is the prerequisite step? You need to import whatever the source and target objects that you want to use it in your development. You need to import those objects into Informatica Powercenter. So since I have already imported those tables or objects into Informatica, which are available in Informatica itself. for me. So I will not do the create set step because I already have those tables which are needed for my development. So I'll be moving on to the basic steps. What are the basic steps? The first step one will be creating a mapping, right? Let's go and create a mapping. You need to be on the mapping designer, go to mapping step, click create, give some meaningful name, m underscore, it will always be small m underscore scd type 2 using flags. Okay, click OK. So let's drag and drop those source and target objects into the workspace. EMP SRC is our source, which we will be using for our implementation. And EMP TGT flag SCD type 2 is the target table, which we will be using in the mapping in our development. Okay, so I'll be dragging and dropping three different three times into our workspace. The same target I'm dragging and dropping into the workspace three times. Why? Because see, we already discussed how many times how many cases we are performing when we are implementing SCD type 2 implementation using flags. One case is for inserting a new record with flag Y, and the other case is for inserting the old records with changes with flag Y. Again, the third case is we'll be updating the flag for the existing records which has changes in the target table, right? So for that, for these three cases, that's why I have dragged the target object three times into the workspace. Okay, before that, let me show you the source table. See, I have a source table called IMP SRC, which I'm using it as our source in our today's lab. And it contains 4 columns: employee ID, employee name, employee salary, department ID, and it contains 5 record with some data, sample data. And we'll be working with this source table. Okay. And what is the target table which we are working? This is a target table which we are using for our implementation today. So I am EMP TGT. I just renamed the table as flag SCD type 2 because we are discussing the flag concept today in order to implement SCD type 2. So it contains 6 columns with one unique key column where we'll be creating unique IDs using a sequence generated transformation. And this is a primary key column. And employee ID, employee name, employee sal, department ID are the same columns from the source. And there is one extra column flag where we will be updating the status of the flag, inserting or updating the status of the flag in this target table, into the target table. Okay, let's go on and implement that. So how we will be knowing a specific record is already existing in the target table or not? We'll be doing a lookup, right? We discussed lookup transformation. So we'll be doing a lookup transformation on the target table. Let's go and create a lookup transformation. I will use all the shortcuts in my explanation because I want to save some time. So let's go and see. I'm hovering on a shortcut icon of lookup. So it pops up like lookup transformation. Select that icon, click on the workspace. It will give you a dialog box where you need to tell that on which table you want to do a lookup. We'll be doing a lookup on the target table, right? This is the table. Let's click OK. Lookup is created. Now we need to pass the condition, right? For the lookup transformation, let's go and pass the condition. Just double click and rename this one in, because it's an input port which is coming from the source. Go to the condition, click on this add new condition and provide the condition employee ID equal to employee ID. Whenever this condition satisfies, and if the lookup transformation returns any value, it means that the record is already existing. If it doesn't record, if it returns any null value, it means that the record is a new record. Since it is not present in the target table. That's why it sends out a null value for us. Click apply, click OK. Okay. So now let's create 2 expressions. Okay. Let's go and create 2 expressions now. Go to the expression shortcut, click that expression transformation shortcut, click on the workspace. We'll be creating 2 expressions. That's why I'm creating one more expression on the workspace. Okay, let's bring all the ports from the source to this expression and bring all the ports from the lookup into this expression. Not that employee ID from the source, which is not required. Okay, so let's rename it and create the MD5 functions. What is MD5? We discussed in our previous session. Please refer to that session video. Okay. Generally, MD5 is a function which creates hexadecimal value by doing a concatenation of the columns that we provide inside the MD5 function. Okay. So it's simply use it to compare the columns. You need to know, right, which record has a change, whether the record has a change or not. How you will be comparing? You will be comparing the record which is coming from source with the existing record in the target table. Whenever the two record matches, it means that there is no change. Whenever there is a whenever those two records doesn't matches, that means there is a change that is coming from the source, right? So for that, we'll be calculating the MD5 value and we'll be comparing that. Whenever the MD5 source is not equal to MD5 target, it means that there is a change that is coming from that for that record from the source. Okay, let's go and rename this first and create a MD5 functions for source as well as target. We'll be creating a MD5 source in this transformation, expression transformation, and the other one will be doing it in the other transformation. Okay, let's add a new port and write down it as a MD5. Since it is output port, rename it with a out underscore MD5 SRC and give a big precision like 1000. Okay, let me check. Okay. 1000, and it's a output port. Uncheck the input and write down the expression. What is the expression? MD5 of provide the ports that you want to add it for comparison. Employee name, employee cell, department ID. Validate. Click OK. Click OK. Click apply. Click OK. Okay. Now we calculated MD5 SRC. Similar way, let's create a MD5 for the target. Okay. In this expression, create one more port, output port for MD5 target. Out underscore MD5 TGT. Okay. Give the same precision value, some big number, and click uncheck the input. Write down the expression. MD5 of same columns, right? The target column this time. EMP name, concat, EMP cell, concat, department ID. Validate. Successful. Click OK. Rename this as trans underscore expression trans TGT. You can write down LKP TGT also, because we are bringing the output columns from the lookup transformation. On what basis you are doing a lookup? You are doing a lookup on the target table only, right? Okay, just in case. LKP, click OK, click apply, click OK. You can give any names, some meaningful name. Always try to give some meaningful names to your transformations that you create. Okay. And now we created MD5 source, MD5 target. Now, what is the other thing that we discussed? Whenever we are inserting some data, we'll be inserting with flags, right? So let's create a port now to insert flag. Why? Create a add port, and it is also an output port. It's not coming from input, so we'll be naming it as out underscore insert flag. Insert flag, and just we need it's one. It's output flag, right? Just uncheck the input, and here you just pass Y, capital Y, or anything, capital Y or small y, it doesn't matter. Okay, click OK, click OK, click apply, click OK. We created insert flag also. Okay, now create a update flag. You need to go create an update flag also, right? You can create here or here, it doesn't matter. Okay, but just to be in a much more understanding way, we'll be creating it here in this expression. You can create anywhere. Okay, let's create an update flag. Update flag with flag status. It's output flag. Just give the name as capital M, right? Validate. Click OK, click OK, click apply. Since we already had our MD5 source, MD5 target, and insert flag and update flag, now we are good to move on to the next level. What is the next thing that we'll be doing? We'll be creating a groups, right? Where we'll be creating the groups, insert group and update group. We'll be creating those in router transformation. Bring the router transformation from, click on the router transformation icon, click on the workspace, it creates a router transformation for us. Now we need to create two groups, right? One for insert, one for update. Let's bring all the columns from the source transformation here, expression, And before bringing, let's rename this employee ID to LKP so that we will not get confused. Okay, click OK. We just need employee key, employee ID, and from here we need MD5 target and update flag. That's it. These are the 4 columns that we needed. Bring those from the expression lookup target. Okay. Now go open the router transformation, go to groups tab, click to create 2 groups, one for insert, one for insert, one for update. So when you say that a specific record is a new record, when the lookup returns null value, right? So just pass is null of the lookup port. What is the lookup port here? Employee ID from lookup. Validate, it's good. Now, when you can say a specific record is not null, when you say that a specific record is a existing record or old record, when the lookup returns some value, right? So write down that condition whenever it is not null. Not is null of the lookup column. And we need to update only the record which has changes, right? Why to update the records every time when the record doesn't have any changes? So it will always will update only the records which has changes, right? So how you tell a specific record has a change whenever the MD5 source is not equal to MD5 target. Let's write the same condition here. MD5 SRC is MD5 SRC not equal to MD5 target. Validate, successful. Now you need to create 3 update strategy transformations in order to pass the update functions. DD insert, DD update, DD reject, all those we discussed in our previous session. Please refer to our previous session where we discussed update strategy transformation. If you still have any questions, please ping. I will try to take one more simple example and try to explain things. Okay, let's create 3 update strategy transformations now. Go to the update strategy transformation icon, click that one and click on the workspace. Do that 3 times because we will be working with 3 target instances. That's why we need 3 update strategy transformations. By the way, the update strategy transformation for insert is optional. It's not mandatory. Okay. What does that mean? Let me tell you. Let's bring everything from the insert group until we don't need MD5. We just need the first 4 columns from the source and the insert flag. Those are the columns which we needed. So open this update strategy transformation, rename it with, we'll be inserting this group insert for new records. That's what we discussed, right? The case 1. We'll be inserting the new records with flag Y. Click OK, click apply, click OK. Now connect this one, select all, connect to employee ID. See, this employee key will be creating a sequence generator and passing that next value port to the employee key value in a bit. Okay, just keep it aside for now. Just work on the update strategy transformation. Now the second update strategy transformation is like we'll be inserting the old or existing record which has changes also, right, with flag Y. So let's get that old record from the update group. Get everything and the insert flag. Okay. Now rename this one with insert old records. Previous one is for the new records. Now this insert is for old records. Click apply, click OK. Now we'll be updating the old record or existing records in the target table which has changes. It's flag to N, right? So we need to update that, right? Let's do that by using employee key and update flag column. Okay. Before that, let's connect this to this target instance, and this one to this employee key ID, and this one to this flag ID. And now create a sequence generator. Click on the icon, shortcut icon, and click on the workspace. It creates a sequence generator transformation for you. Just click the next value port, drag and drop onto the employee key value of the insert target instances. Okay, that's it. Now just rename this target instead, not to get confused while you are configuring session properties. Okay, that insert. This is for insert new records. Okay, click apply, click OK, and this is rename this one also with old records. Right? Y. Click OK, and rename this to update old records. Update old records flag. We'll be updating only the old record flag, old record which has changes flag, right? Right on like that. Changes. Click OK. Click apply. Click OK. Now arrange all. I click arrange all. So this is the mapping which we created just now. So see, it's very big mapping, but don't get scared. But it's very easy. Each and every step we already discussed individually as per transformation, as well as we already discussed everything in SCD type 1 also. That's why I always say that if you understand SCD type 1, implementing SCD type 2 is very easy. Okay. Okay, let's go and save the mapping and see whether the mapping is valid or not. The mapping is valid. Now the first step is completed. What is the second step? We need to create a workflow and we need to create a session and link that session to the specific mapping that we developed, right? Where we'll be creating the second step. We'll be creating in the workflow manager. Go to the workflow manager. You need to be on the workflow designer. Click on the workflow designer and go to workflows, click create and give some meaningful name. Always the workflow starts with small wf followed by session name or mapping name. Flags. Click OK. Now create a session by using a shortcut. Click this session icon. Click on the workspace, and it will display the list of mappings that are available in the specific folder where you are working. Now this folder contains only one mapping. That's why it's showing us only one mapping. Let's select that one and create a session. Right. So the session got created. Now go and configure the connections for the respective sources and targets that we are using in our mapping. So let's go here. So EMP SRC, tell to Informatica that the source table is present in SRC DB. Click OK. In the similar way, you need to tell Informatica where your target objects are present. Go to the target instance one by one, give it, click OK. And same thing for other target instance also, you need to provide proper connection details. It is very important step. Okay. So for whenever you are using a lookup in your target table and the lookup is a relational database object, then you need to provide a connection for that also. Okay. Select lookup and tell that your lookup table is present in the target, because we are doing a lookup on the target table, right? That's why you need to provide that connection. So you need to tell Informatica that your target table is present in Oracle TGT DB. Okay, click OK. That's it. Now coming back to this one, like these target instances, you need to configure something here. So see here, target load type will be always be normal. Insect, because will be inserting the new records, right? There is no need to update. Check it. Go down. We'll never delete or truncate when we are dealing with the SCD type 2 implementation, with SCD implementations. Okay, we'll never delete or truncate. Go to the second target instance. Here also, make the target load type as normal. It's also insert, because we will be inserting the old record with changes, right? It will always be insert, and uncheck the update as update, because there is no need to update anything. We'll be inserting the old records with changes also as insert. Let's uncheck the delete also here, and we need to update the flag right for the old existing records in the target table. For that, will not do anything. Just uncheck the delete. Leave this option just like that, and this make the target load type to normal. Click apply, and come back to the properties that we discussed so far. We discussed all these properties in our previous sessions, right? Fail parent if the task fail parent if the task doesn't run. What does that mean? If you select this option, if this task doesn't run for any reason, it will fail the workflow. That's it. And then the properties will we didn't discuss anything on the properties tab. We just discussed one more property here, which is stop on errors. We say that Informatica, whenever you face any single error, please stop the workflow. So you need to configure this property so that Informatica will stop right away whenever it faces any error. Okay, stop on errors set to 1. Click apply, click OK. Now link the workflow with the session and validate it, whether you save it so that it will tell you whether the workflow is valid or not. Now the workflow is valid, right? So right click start workflow. Before running the workflow, let me show you what is there in the target table. There is nothing there, right? For the first run. So there is nothing there. There are 5 records which are coming from the source. Okay, let's go and run the workflow and see what will be the execution status. It will open our workflow monitor. It will tell you whether it will be. Before that, let me once check whether I used DD insert, DD update in the update strategy transformations. Let's go. See, I didn't use it. That is one more very important step. Okay, whenever you are working with update strategy transformation, you need to give proper functions, right? DD insert, DD update, everything. DD insert, click OK. Click apply, click OK. In the similar way, here also DD insert, because we are doing a insert of old records with changes also with flag virate. Need to pass that insert. The previous one is like we are inserting it for new records. Now we'll be updating the flag for the old existing records with flag DD update. Pass that. Okay. Always don't forget these functions. Click OK, click OK, click apply, click OK. Update strategy transformation. Now save it. Refresh the mapping. Save it. For the first run, it will get succeeded because 0 is nothing but DD insert, right? That's why it's a first run. That's why it loaded 5 records into the target table. Okay. See, it read 5 records from the source. It loaded 5 records into the target table. Now go and check the target table. See, 5 records got inserted with flag by. Now what you will do for the second run, let's update one record and see whether it will capture that updated record or not. EMP SRC, set the employee salary, EMP sal equal to $25,000 for employee ID equal to 1, which is Ellen, right? So let's update Ellen's salary to $25,000. Currently it's $17,000. Okay, let's go and see whether the source record is updated. See, now Ellen's record is $25,000 in the source table. Now what is Ellen's record in the target table for the first run when it loaded? The Ellen's record is Ellen's salary is $70,000, right? Now we updated the Ellen's salary to $25,000. And then what it needs to do, it will insert that record along with the insert flag Y. And again, it will update the old record of Ellen with N. That is the functionality that we need to achieve as per SRE type 2 implementation. And let's insert one more sample record here. Insert into as a new record, EMP SRC and values. Let me insert with 6. And let's insert one sample record with $8,000, and he works in 40 department. Okay, let's insert that. One row got inserted. Let's commit it. Now see, from the source, there is a one new record which is coming in along with one record which got updated. Alan's salary got updated, right? So there are these two records will get inserted and one record will get updated, which is the old record of Alan, right? Let's run the workflow and see, observe the output, what happens. Okay, let me just make sure whether I committed Okay, I just committed. Okay, so before running the workflow, I will show you. So Ellen's salary is $17,000 currently, and there is no sixth employee ID record also. Now run it. Both should insert. Both the records should go for insert, and the old record of Ellen should go for update. Got succeeded. See, it read one record as a new record, and it inserted one old record also, and it also updated one record. Let's go and observe what will be the output of the target table. Let's see. See, it clearly inserted Dhoni's record as a new record with flag Y, and again it inserted the changed record of Ellen with employee salary 25,000 with flag Y, and it updated the old version of the Ellen's record to with flag N. So now you tell me what are the records which are active. If the client wants to see only the records which are the current version of the specific employees, how you can track that? It's simple, right? Where flag equal to Y. See, it will give only the current version of the employee's record. There is no records which with N. So these are the current version, the latest version of each and every employee. So this is how you will be maintaining. If you go and select only select statement, then it will give all the records. Okay. So this is how SCD type 2 implementation using flags. So if you have any question, please comment. I will try to take one more simple example and explain. Until then, take care, guys. Yeah.